Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Wednesday, November 29th, 2023. Let's start this video off with this. For months, you and I have talked about the issues, well, actually, for over a year now, regarding the banks. All right. It's getting progressively worse, and it's kind of in our face. It's very hard to deny what's happening here. There is something else that we have spoken about, this one for months now, and that is the commercial real estate issue regarding commercial banks. Now, this thing really is going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. It's starting to get some kind of media attention, but almost nothing. And it comes down to what you and I always know they do. Look here, don't look here. The deceptions, the distractions. Now let me just say this. This issue, commercial real estate, has the potential to bring down the entire financial system. And what you can expect here, and it's pretty obvious what's being set up, in my opinion. There's going to be the most monumental bailout in history with regard to the banks for this commercial real estate issue. And do you know why? What are they going to point to? They're going to point to COVID. This is the fallout of COVID, the scamdemic here. And this is why we have to bail out the financial system. We've done it before. The financial system pretty much died in 2008. Okay, we the people had to bail this whole thing out. We're going to bail it out again. But if you think last time, this is going to be 10, at a minimum, 10 times larger, maybe 100. I don't have any idea. We don't know the exposure that commercial banks have to this commercial real estate problem. And then, it's not just that. You could look at everything that's happening to the banks right now with no deposits, deposits that are being pulled, no loans, no deals, everything that's happening. And they will point their fingers at the scamdemic. COVID, this is what's going on here. So they're going to justify, does it make sense to you? Think about what I'm saying. They're going to justify another bailout of the financial institutions by saying this is because of COVID. You understand? I think it's pretty evident. Because again, look, they're not going to allow all of the financial institutions to lose. Some are going to lose. Some have already lost. And this system, what's happening now, again, these wheels have been put in motion a long time ago. And this is all about consolidating the system into fewer and fewer hands. More power, more control in fewer and fewer institutions. It just plays right into what they want to pull off. They, central banks, who are the real government of the world, they run the economy, they run the markets, they run the financial system, they control the cash, so they control the world. Everything else is just a sideshow. You understand? Anyway, so that's the story I want to start off with today. And I want to set the groundwork for this. We've spoken about this little by little over the past several months here, but understanding what's going on here, the issues facing the banks, and then of course, look, people. I mean, you got to see my email box this morning. My email box this morning, lit up like a Christmas tree. Now, I don't know. Some of you hear things that I don't say. Let me just cover that real quick. I've been talking about credit unions a lot. I have never said that these are safe. I said that they're safer. Okay? People hear things that I don't say, like I said. There's always risk. When you put your cash in any institution, credit union or not, there's always risk here. You understand? So I don't know where you people are getting this from. I never said these were safe. I said they were safer. You got it? I mean, people drive me nuts. That's another thing. With this whole, I've been talking a lot about cryptocurrencies as of late, and I've said that generally these things are not used as currencies. They're not. Generally, okay, these things, people hold them. They don't transact in them. every single day, unless they're trading them, which is possible, but they don't go out to the store and use Bitcoin every day, for example, to buy groceries and cars and whatever it might be. Yes, it does occur, but generally it does not occur. So anyway, I have to straighten these things out sometimes because people hear things that I don't say, and then they start propagating these things that I don't say. Anyway, but again, all right, do I believe that a credit union is safer? Yes, I do. I do not believe that credit unions have any exposure at all to the commercial or real estate nightmare that's going to unfold. Could I be wrong on that? Yeah, probably. I can say this, that credit unions are going to take a hit with a lot of bad debt that's on their books. People are defaulting across the board. What did we find out just yesterday? Defaults across the board on loans are at their highest pace since the meltdown of 2008. Imagine my shock. This is deliberate. What you're witnessing here is no accident here. This is everything you're seeing has been well thought out, well planned out, and very well executed by central banks around the world who are seeking to consolidate their power, to fulfill their end game, to be the lenders and buyers of last resort. And they're dismantling the global economy piece by piece. Now, with that said, you're watching the 10-year yield. It is down again below 4.3, 4.28 the last time I looked at it. The Dixie, or the relative strength of the dollar, firmly below 103. And this is all going lower. You have to understand what you're looking at here. Rate cuts are coming. Now, rate cuts are not going to save a damn thing. Again, the consumer's already done. I've told you this already. They got them by the throat. And you can see how this is playing out with the people can't make it. And they're falling down prior members of the middle class who are being attacked. Seriously, if you're a member of the middle class, you are under a full-blown attack, whether you know it or not, by the central banks, by our politicians as well, who all work. All of them. And I don't care how much you worship them or think that they are different. They are not different. They all work for the central banks. Period. Okay? And it doesn't matter who sits behind the Resolute desk at all. All right. Presidents, kings, queens, monarchs, or dictators don't run the world. The world is run by central banks. And they have executed their plan perfectly, which started over 100 years ago. Very slowly, very methodically, watching how they have destroyed the purchasing power of currencies around the world. The Federal Reserve here, 98%. Of the purchasing power of the dollar is already gone. They're going to get that last 2%, and of course their new system is going to be put in place. Some kind of a central bank digital currency, which will be used as currencies, as we will all be forced to use that system. Understand that. And if you don't believe me on that, just look. I've told you this before. The Bank of International Settlements, the BIS, look at their mission statement. It tells you what they're planning, and it's going. I'm not even going to tell you what it is because I want you to look it up. Basically, it comes down to this. They want to issue a cross-border, worldwide, single currency that all central banks are going to subscribe to, and you and I are going to be forced to transact in it. And they're going to track every transaction you do down to the fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a cent. You understand? That's where this is going. It's all about control. Let's go back to the market this morning. On the back of the 10-year yield continuing to fall, you do realize, most of you at least I hope, that the 10-year yield was over 5% recently. We are now, dropping like a rock. And the relative strength of the dollar has dropped like a rock, just as you and I predicted it would. You and I said this would happen. Three things I said had to happen here. One of them was they would find a way to suppress rates even further. Well, that's happening. They could weaken the dollar, the Federal Reserve, by dumping dollars and buying foreign currencies here, and also they could prop up crude oil, which is happening too. Crude oil is getting a bit higher. Look, this drop in crude oil that we've seen recently, don't get used to it. It's not going to last. It's the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex. And they're going to make sure it gets propped up again. The commercial banks are leveraged beyond their eyeballs in crude oil, and they will do whatever they have to do to keep it propped up. If that means they have to kill people, foster more war, or whatever it might be. And that comes down to the other thing that we're going to see next year. Watch what's going to happen next year, too. I keep telling you all this. But government spending, especially for war, is going to skyrocket beyond anyone's wildest dreams. I'm waiting for the false flag. I mean, this whole thing has been a false flag. The Ukraine war, the Israel war, these are false flags. All a mechanism to pull cash into the now. That's all it is. And all of these nations and their central banks are colluding to make it happen. Without it, it's we go into a Mad Max scenario here. So stock futures higher right now, triple digits for the Dow. Imagine my shock on the back of the dropping 10-year yield. Dollar was relatively flat this morning. Crude oil catching a nice bid, got bid up nicely yesterday. Bitcoin around 38,000, gold and silver catching a bid. That's where we stand, people. Everything that we have outlined is happening. Now, what's the takeaway from this video? The biggest bailout in the history of the financial world is being set up, and you're going to pay for it. Okay, we are going to pay for it, and it's going to be blamed on COVID with regard to the commercial real estate issue, with all the things that are happening to the banks right now. Believe me, they're setting this up right now. They're trying to figure out a way to sell this to the public. They always do, and we always pay for it, unfortunately. This is how they manage to suck wealth from everybody and push it right up to the 1% and 2%ers. That is the way of the world. Get used to it, unfortunately. All right. This guy here loves you a lot from the heart. I mean that. I hope you got some out of this video. Please share it. Get it out there. Those thumbs up are extremely valuable. I appreciate them. It lets the algorithms pick up the videos and they get seen. All right, so it's up to you whether you want people to see and hear this stuff. All right, I'll see you later. 4:05 p.m. Eastern time for my live stream. Have some questions ready for me. I'll see you then.